best point guard in the East. Brunson is de-icing Trae Young. That's right, I said it. What you see happening right now is a meltdown. Podcast tour trying to paint New York and its fans as bad for the game. Complaining about not making the FIBA roster and even insinuating that there's some favoritism at play with Grant Hill, part owner of the Hawks. And lastly, a recent poll has shown that an anonymous poll of your peers have voted you as one of the most overrated players in the game. What are we seeing is a cry for help right now, a cry for attention, the need to be liked and revered for the smallest thing. Even got a podcast now to try to change the narrative that he hasn't done anything since the year of New York, except get coaches fired. Now, sounds like those are my opinions, right? But you tell me, are these facts? The New York spotlight made him hot in 2021. Our talent was mid at the time. We actually overachieved, and we were even favored in that series. But Atlanta clearly had more talent. They were the better team. Hell, we had Elfrid Payton at point guard.
What?
He had a great series. You can't take that from him. And he reveled in dispatching the Knicks. Taking bows, being known as the new villain of Gotham City. That was the ultimate clout for him. Damn Reggie Miller, damn Michael Jordan, ESPN wanted Trae Young ahead of all of them. That's the modern day villain of NYC. Everyone was calling him Ice Trae. And he was doing the shiver taunt move and waving goodbye to New York fans. Yeah, so he rode that clout train into the offseason and even into the following year. You remember when he wore those special made King of Broadway shoes? Unprovoked. The Knicks were struggling that season. We had gotten Kemba and Fournier, new additions that didn't work out. Jules was struggling mightily. So leave it to Trae to dance on our grave with those kicks and then play victim when he realizes New York fans don't forget. Those are balls. Thankfully, that particular game they lost. And Atlanta still made the play-in and playoffs in our absence. And of course, they underwhelmed. So you can't accept the title of Gotham City villain and not live up to it. You even got another star as your Robin to your Batman, and you were still subpar. So naturally, when it comes to ball, real recognizes real. And just like LeBron-era players do, his peers took an anonymous poll. And this is when Ice Trae began to defrost. His peers called him overrated. It can't get worse than that, can it? Yes, it can. Your ops reloaded and got a point guard in New York, Jalen Brunson. A point guard that is getting respect from many of his peers as he plays in the most difficult market in the NBA, New York City. McHale, Bain, Morant, give him props. But like Trae, Brunson led his team also to a conference final in the West, going head-to-head with a premier point guard in Donovan Mitchell. And this is what Mitchell said. So to me, it seems someone feels threatened by this new emergence of a new point guard in the East who is quickly rising. A point guard that everyone seems to be talking about, not only about his skill, but his leadership.
Shout out to Jalen Brunson, man. Head of the snake.
Brunsanity. With his most recent selection over Trae to lead the FIBA USA team, Brunson clearly met the criteria. Clearly, this tournament and player's performance within can determine if a player on this team is elevated to the Olympic level. What is clear is that this coach and Steve Kerr loves Jalen Brunson. So many are predicting he will be a lock addition to the big squad. Boy, if Brunson is selected to play with the big boys and welcomed into that club, ooh, the Tatums, the Durants, it will really elevate Brunson as the point guard in the NBA East. And don't let JB win FIBA Gold or MVP. Brunsanity will truly run wild on the NBA, and New York will be lit as ever. Respected, respectfully, once again. And that's the worst thing that can happen in the mind of Trae Young. What say you? Keep this in mind. Same thing applies to life. That applies to our team. There's no struggle, there's no progress. And remember this. Every